Hi, it's Joy, and today we're watching Andor Season 1, Episode 9, Nobody's Listening. Which, yep, pretty true. But people are starting to listen to the rebellion. I am very excited to see what happens next in this episode. A reminder that, as always, you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon, and let's go. Oh god, stress.
Convince you to cooperate without intervention.
Jesus
Failing
Christ.
that, we have Dr. Gorst, who's developed a unique interview system some of us are very excited about. You have no recorded history of political troublemaking. You're a business owner. Now, I would prefer a conversation, a full, detailed accounting.
But honestly, as well, if she were to say they don't have a relationship, Cassian wanted to meet him one time to sell him something big and I arranged it for them, like, they probably wouldn't buy that at this point and they torture her anyway. Fucking hell.
If that sounds to me like a nest of relationships.
It's a lot less organised than you think it is on this planet.
You're not gonna believe me anyway, are you?
Exactly what I was thinking. Because this isn't the grand rebel conspiracy on this planet yet that she thinks it is. Hopefully this increased activity and torturing of innocent, good people is going to be enough to make them. Like, she just sold some stuff to a dude who gave her money. Even if she says that, well, for all of Deidre's, like, if you tell me that you're just a fish who wanted money, I'll let you go. She doesn't mean any of that.
You know the drill.
They're working hard. They have no other freaking choice. And it's brilliant because it stops any building up of camaraderie, of like working with the table opposite you to try and like do anything because they're your enemy and on bad.
Strengths are nothing to be feared, and early trials that were a bit chaotic.
Yes, the Empire's not evil. They don't embolden psychopaths.
There's an outer rim moon called Dies on Frey. Local commanders were granted permission to use any means necessary, and they make a sound as they die, a sort of
Oh Lord.
Agony section of what we believe are primarily children, which has its own
Fucking hell.
particular effect.
You are making rebels out of anyone that hears about this. It's method of torture and then the what you're using to torture people. You are just creating the rebellion by yourself.
It's repeat listenings that cause the most damage.
Jesus
Ready?
Christ. Oh God. Anyone, like, the more the Empire does things like this, the more they're going to create the very rebellion they're trying to stop. He's not giving in.
2 men back. 2 weapons. No boots.
He's already, yep. People will find each other.
Salmon Park.
I don't care.
I'd like to hang him. What's left of him.
Fucking hell.
Make sure they know who's in charge.
The Empire breeds monsters and emboldens them.
Our first responsibility is to the citizens who have sent us here. Our second vow is to protect the power.
When they turn the lights off, what does that mean? They wanted to stop talking? There's no democratic way to do this.
What's he saying? Level 2. He's coming this way around now.
Well, what's he saying?
What do you think's happening?
Someone's trying to escape?
It's 2. Something's wrong on 2.
Aunt Belle's been to Tassia Moon. Look what she brought me.
Oh my God.
I have an opinion. We'll see if he lets you wear it.
He lets me do anything.
She said she was a rich girl in the previous one. Oh my God.
Why don't you go try it on?
Rebellion connections.
There's no other way.
I'm starting to think we're in over our heads. He's got a spinning head.
You're definitely in over your heads, but there's no other choice.
They don't need to care. All they need to do is turn this floor on twice a day and keep their numbers rolling. Why bother listening to us? We are nothing.
They're very disorganized, as he has seen.
No, she's right.
The whole
Cheaper than droids
network
and easier
is
to replace.
The whole system is hands off.
You think they care what we say? Nobody's listening. Nobody.
The interrogation was thorough. We've no reason to believe anything was withheld.
But no ID on your access. He's still just the buyer. You're trying to connect Aldani. That's a bit of a stretch.
It's not.
Clean-shaven. If they are, we'll know. We're on her full time.
So is the rebellion. It's awful because they're giving the rebellion even more credit than they deserve right now, which means that it's even harder to be the rebellion.
They were fried out. They're all gone. Who said?
Both shifts.
100 men.
Yeah, they were making trouble.
On program, feet down. We will have immediate facility.
Thing is, they probably won't do it again because they think they've scared everyone.
Yeah, we don't know. We set them all free.
Fuck.
Let's keep our mouths shut, keep our heads down.
Survive.
I press a uniform. I prepare 2 meals a day. I move mountains to scrape you off the floor and put you back on your feet. And
Yes, he's your son.
What is the return on?
That's it.
He's gonna get hurt at this rate if he doesn't just collapse from illness.
Take Olma.
Money.
Is that all it is?
I don't have enough to worry about.
Anything I
The
can
world was different, it might be different.
Yes. What have we done, Val?
You tried to make a difference. Mm-hmm.
We're fighting against the dark.
And as spoiled rich girls, you don't have to do that.
Of our lives.
What you're doing is terrifying and dangerous, but so beyond necessary. Then you give a position of privilege that you could hide behind, and you're using it. Good. Is he seriously here just hanging out trying to catch her?
I needed to find you, and it's not that easy to thank you for what you did and what you're doing. And to follow on.
He's a strange zealot.
Try to follow on the conversation we had after meeting you and discovering you understood how dangerous Cassie and Andor was.
Jesus Christ, you're a strange stalker zealot, man.
In your presence, there was justice and beauty in the galaxy, and if it just kept going, perhaps my deranged belief
I'm
that
very,
was
very
something
afraid.
fitted for me in the future was a dream worth clinging to.
Sir?
If you were arrested, you're aware of that.
Do have him arrested.
I have already given you a second chance. You come near me again, you pursue any of this, and I swear I'll have you in a cage on the outer rim.
Oh my god. Just not marking a 5. That would not go well. Imagine he's the new guy. Oh, that would be the worst. He has lost his mind. His weird zealot little mind.
He wants to meet you. He wants to meet here.
Sometimes you might have to sacrifice a little bit for the greater cause.
Here, you...
He's not doing well. Oh god. He's not well. What do they do when they're not well?
Wait, come on, keep moving.
What do they do when they're sick?
Hang in there, Raph.
Cassian is a good person.
You're going home.
Only got 40 shifts left. Just want to get him up and about. He's tough as an old rock.
This guy just wants to survive and for everyone he's with to survive.
I can't help him. I can't help anyone. I need a bag and a trolley.
It's coming.
Jesus Christ.
He's
If
lucky.
you can't work, they kill you.
Pass peacefully, which is more than I can say for the rest of us. Another week like this, and you'll be begging for what he's getting.
Jesus Christ.
You heard me. Hold his shoulders. You.
What's
Hold his
happening?
legs.
Something is happening
On
here.
level 2. They made a mistake. A man who was just released on 4 ended up back on 2 the next day. Word got out on the floor, and then they killed them all.
You need those other men there.
Oof.
They're just... No one's getting out, are they?
Fuck.
Not now. Not after this. At least your friend is free.
You two, on program now.
Oh god.
Up, hands on your heads. Move. Let's go. Come on, let's go.
Escape is the only option.
Now. Let's go.
It is escape or die.
Each level.
You gotta listen to him now.
Never more than 12.
Okay. Okay, so something both the prison and the Empire, I believe, are about to find out are that if you push people into a corner, if you give them so few options, if you hurt them so much, all they can do is fight back. There is no option for them. You make it so that they can't even just try and just get by and avoid your eye contact and just, do what you want them to do and live their lives. They're gonna fight back. That is most exemplified from the shift leader, who was just so, from the minute we met him, his job was just to keep everyone in line, keep everyone alive, get everyone to the end of their shifts, go home. His days were almost done. He's just going to get out of there. Now he's going to help escape. I mean, hopefully he'll escape, but he's going to help Cassian. He's going to join into this mission and cause a huge problem for them. If they had just been less extremely awful and oppressive, that wouldn't have happened, and people would just be doing their time to get out. Some people like Cassian would still be trying to escape, but the more people are in on it, the easier it's going to be for them and the more trouble it's going to be. Similarly, the more stories you hear of the Republic, of the Empire and their atrocities and what they are doing, the more people you meet who work for them, who are unhinged psychopaths, and the more word gets out about that, the more people are going to rise up and join the rebellion. The more people are going to find, well, I have nothing else to lose, and I care about my family, and previously I might have thought, well, just keeping my head down, that's going to protect my family, but there's no guarantee of that anymore. Therefore, I might as well fight, because that's the only way there is a chance my family wins at the end of all this. They are creating their own problem. And that is exactly what Axis, I can't remember his actual name, means when he said, and I said a couple of times now, that if the rebel actions and the increased response against them creates more suffering, that suffering will breed more rebels. And it is such a cynical, awful thing to hear the lead, like a rebel leader, like he's kind of a rebel leader, to say, because they should be trying to avoid suffering at all costs. But he is someone that has such a pragmatic, cynical, political look at the situation that the Empire is creating its own demise. It's just very, very painful to watch it happen. Both the method of torture they were using and the effect it has on the people they torture, the fact that they were going to torture her, whether if she had told them everything she knew, they would have tortured her anyway to check the story matched up afterwards. Not only was it the method of torture, also what it was they were torturing with. I buy that sadistic bitch's story. That wasn't something they made up in a lab. That was children who were being genocidally slaughtered. The Empire is terrible. It is. The Republic was not perfect. The Republic needed reform and change. What it got was a right-wing fascist dictatorship. And currently, our democracies are not perfect and they need change. And we're all heading towards fascist dictatorships that are right-wing, and I'm fucking stressed about it. But yeah, it's just so demoralizing. But I think this show is doing a really good job of showing you the reality of these early days of the rebellion, because we did see that with Rebels and I really, really enjoyed it. But with Rebels, we were very much with this group who kind of, before there even was a rebellion, they already were just kind of creating havoc for the Empire. They had already broken away and were living on the run and were doing their own thing. Whereas this is both people trying to do the sort of more organized rebellion that eventually they will join, and people like Mon Mothma who are trying to stay under the surface, trying to kind of, she's trying to protect the Empire, protect the people of the Empire from within the politics, and while funding the rebellion a little bit. Her sister, which I didn't twig, when they said she was a rich girl, I was like, oh, okay, but is running around actually like committing rebel acts. But Mon Mothma is in such a precarious position now, and I think the reality of it is really coming home to her. And of course it is, but it makes me like both her and her sister, that they could very much have the attitude that her husband has of, well, maybe people are suffering, but I'm all right. I don't see that suffering. I'm personally living a life of luxury. There are so many people in this world that because they have it good, don't care about the people that don't. Mon Mothma and her sister, they're not like that, and that makes me like them. They could so easily just be spoiled rich girls, living in the lap of luxury in the Empire. As long as you don't, make any big ripples, you're unlikely to ever face any consequences from the Empire, and you'll be fine. But they are making a stand. I do not blame them for getting, especially Mon at this point, for getting scared, for kind of the reality hitting home, because no matter how brave you are, you're going to have that moment of, fuck, I'm terrified. And realizing you've maybe made mistakes, you've left yourself open. Sometimes in order to get your goal, you're going to have to compromise your morals a little bit. That at the end of the day, if this guy has a meeting with you and then he's like, oh, I want you to go and sanction me to kill 10 people, then maybe, like you say, no, I can't do that. But depending on what he wants, maybe you're just going to need to make that sacrifice, because at the end of the day, it is the lesser of two evils, and this is a situation where the greater evil is so great, we might have to make that kind of choice. So we're seeing people push to their breaking point in all sorts of different ways. We're seeing the rebellion take shape. The Empire is kind of giving the rebellion more credit right now. I mean, Deirdre is currently giving the Empire more credit than it deserves. The Republic more credit. Fucking hell. The Rebellion more credit than it deserves right now. But it is what that giving it more credit is actually giving it more fertile ground to grow. The show's doing a fantastic job. It's very stressful to watch. Yeah, thank you so much for watching.